All right, folks, today we are going to talk about all of the options that are available on a hoop house. Hoop houses start off pretty simple. There's a frame, there's plastic, there's general stuff that comes in a kit. But beyond that, there's things that you can do at the individual farm level to either match the crop, match what you're trying to do as far as what you're trying to grow and the seasons that that happens in. I know a lot of people get very confused. Customer service takes a lot of those calls. And so today we're going to go through one by one and think about it. Do we need this? And for those further specific details, I'm really going to encourage you to call in. And the main reason is if we sell, for instance, the fan that's behind me, as you know, Bootstrap Farmer has shipping for free. So what happens when you call in to the tech line to get a custom quote? That means that they can back off some of that built-in shipping and put that on the crate and to save you money. So that's why we always encourage you to talk to the tech team, not only to match the right parts with what you have going on, but to give you the best price possible. The first option I'll cover is something I cannot personally imagine a hoop house without. No matter where I've been in the country, most everybody has a roll-up side. So if you need passive ventilation, if you are growing in an area that gets above 85 to 90 degrees every single summer, having this giant window of cross ventilation at the plant level is not only good for the plants, it also helps to cut down the humidity, and for the people working inside it, it makes for a much more pleasurable experience. When the greenhouse film is installed, the door begins up at the top at the hip board. Everything below the hip board becomes the roll-up side that is then attached to the roll-up bar via snap-on clamps and attached to a hand crank. From there, the hand crank easily lifts up to 120 foot of roll-up sides just with one crank, one person doing it. And we also have automation options if you want to talk to the tech team about those. Whenever the roll-up sides are rolled down, there's a little gap that forms in between the end wall and that roll-up sides that sometimes if you have a prevailing wind, that wind can get in there. And simply installing a piece of plastic on the first hoop to the end wall and from the hip to the base gives you a nice buffer that really helps protect that wind from getting in. The second option is insect netting. If you have any insect pressure whatsoever, putting the insect netting on the rest of the sidewall, yes, it does restrict the airflow just a little bit, but at this point we're trading one problem for another. And please keep in mind that insect netting is vastly different than the netting that goes like on a screen for the house. And now for the option I really can't imagine not having is shade cloth. I like to put shade cloth on whenever the temperature gets above 90 degrees, or if our crops are already suffering and we're trying to protect the crops as much as possible. If you're below the 40th parallel, which is about where Kansas City is, we generally recommend 50%. If you're above that, the light is not as intense because of the angle of the sun, and we recommend 30% in general. Now it's up to you to look at your individual crops and what you have going on. We have whole videos regarding shade cloth, but if it's one of those things where do I need shade cloth, yes or no, I am universally going to say yes, because it gets so hot in here that reduction of light intensity, I want you to think about that less in temperature and more of the intensity of the rays and the UV. If you were ever on the fence about getting some of these options and you didn't do it and you regret it, let us know in the comments below, not for us, but to help other farmers realize the mistakes that some of us make along the way. I know I've made a bunch. Go ahead and share yours. Now let's flip the calendar around. What are you doing in the wintertime? And for a lot of folks, I'm going to really hammer home the fact that double layer inflation, anything like that may be determined by the crop. And most of us growing seasonal crops at the local level are less likely to need any kind of heat or insulation. But if you are heating your hoop house, or if you're trying to do everything possible to hold that heat, or you live in an extreme environment, a double layer of plastic with a fan inflation might be an option. The R value, and if you think about the R value of a home, the walls are usually around 13 R value and the roof is 25 to 30. You're only getting an R value protection from hip to hip, from end wall to end wall of about 1.5 at best. So it's less about heating a hoop house, it's just about retaining a couple of degrees over the course of the day and night with that double inflation where that warm air is heated up in between the two layers. Air is drawn from the outside because if you draw air from the inside of the hoop house, it's more humid. That humidity gets trapped in between the two and it causes issues. So you want that dry air. It's kind of counterintuitive. You would think you want to get the air from the inside the hoop house because it's warmer. But once the air is drawn in, it heats up very fast and it circulates around and just creates that air buffer. The other thing to consider with double inflation is as that's puffed up, it does give extra tension on the greenhouse plastic. And if you live in a very windy area, I like it for that more than I do the insulation. Now, if we want to talk about ventilation, we have a full video on ventilation in this link above, but passive ventilation is anything that requires no electricity, like a roll-up side. Now behind us, we have a powered fan. It plugs into a standard 110 outlet. So let's say it's set for 90 degrees, sun comes up, the hoop house is heating up, the thermostat at the plant level picks up that it's time to open up the fan, turns on the electricity, and it's going to take all of the hot air that builds up to the top, and it shoots it out, and as that does, it creates a negative pressure. Now the shutter on the other side is not hooked up to any electricity, so the negative pressure caused by expelling the hot air out of the top is enough to open up the counterweighted shutter on the other side. That brings in air from the outside, and a lot of people are confused because, well, it's summer, it's hot, I'm bringing hot air into the house, but it's still a lot cooler than the heat that's building up on the inside. So that fresh air exchange helps the air inside circulate at a cooler temperature, but it also helps remove a lot of that humidity. And for me, removing humidity is as important as cooling that down. One of the problems with hoop houses is without proper ventilation and airflow circulation, little pockets of heat can develop. And so if you think about if we were to take this and start seeds like we're going to be doing in here, or if we were going to be planting in ground or in benches or anything, that we want to make sure the temperature is even out as possible. Sure, we're going to have cooler air down below, hotter air up top. 2 circulation fans, one blowing one way, one blowing the next, also helps create a circular motion to kind of even out that. We're going to be putting those in here as it's going to get hot, and this is our main seed starting hoop house. If you take a look at our 30-footer next door, I've got 2 different doors. I have a double door and I have a single door. And with that option, we have the ability to have a normal walkthrough every day, or we have the ability to open that out if we want to think about bringing a BCS or a tiller or carts or wheelbarrows or anything larger. Or I know that we're going to be growing a lot of vine crops in there, and at the end of the season, we're going to be taking out vines that are 50, 60, 70 foot long. So think about what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be coming in and out of the most, and size that door appropriately. Next up, landscape fabric. As you can see, this is our propagation house. I'm not going to be growing in ground here. We have a nice level pad that we built up. And so to prevent weeds growing up in here, I have covered this whole floor. If I was going to be growing on the inside, I would choose to go ahead and put it just as a perimeter around the poles. Some people put it right in the middle, some people put it on the outside. The key here is it keeps weeds from encroaching in and less likely to get blown in, especially if you have insect netting, which also prevents some of that wind-blown seeds coming in. It kind of gives you a little bit of erosion protection. If you think about all the water that's going to hit during a rain event and come down, it's not hitting bare ground, it's hitting the landscape fabric. Next item are the horizontal bars and trusses. So again, this is something I really want you to call and talk to the tech team on. They're going to help decide where you're at in the country and determine some of your wind and snow situations and help build a customized quote for you. We have these here. The horizontal bars and the trusses are connected, and we have just done a whole series on that about the racking and the raking of a hoop house in the wind and how that helps connect and distribute that load evenly. So if you live in one of those areas or you want to get the best of the best, go ahead and consider that option to help you sleep a little bit better at night. And we do have corner brace kits. So a corner brace kit just basically attaches to the end wall and goes down to the second hoop and helps transfer some of that load from the end wall itself and directs that down into the ground post, which are connected by some of the other structural components that we talked about in the ground post video. So the other thing that we have in here is an extra set of purlins. Every hoop house has this ridge pole that helps connect all the hoops and help distribute the load. In a high wind, high snow area, you may consider additional purling options to help distribute that load as well. The next option you might want to consider if you know you're going to be putting vine crops in the hoop house is we do have a trellis bar kit that helps attach steel cables down the length of the hoop house to help trellis up your vine crops for a lower and lean method. It simply attaches to the vertical uprights on the back and gives you an independent bar that's not necessarily pulling on the structural components of the hoop house so you can put up those vine crops and adjust them later on in the season. And then today we are actually installing this batten strap. We're going to be basically taking the plastic that's over the top of this hoop house and putting a strap across it. It's nice and wide, helps distribute. It's not such a tight in one single spot. Helps distribute that load as we just tighten down the plastic in between each rib to help reduce that that rattling that sometimes the hoop house plastic does in a high wind event. The next thing you want to put in your cart is a roll of repair tape. Having repair tape on hand to fix that before it spreads and before it gets any worse, right then and there is a great item to have. So make sure this is in your emergency repair kit on hand, ready to go at all times. And if you come to us and say, hey, Bootstrap Farmer, I don't want to deal with all these options, we do have a new premium kit, and I want to go over some of those options that are already included, just so you know what you're getting. So a premium greenhouse kit includes the all-metal USA-made galvanized hoops and ridge poles, complete metal in-wall systems with door, frame, and hardware, with optional door upgrades. It includes a hand crank roll-up sidewall ventilation system, corner braces for added structural strength, additional purlins for increased rigidity along the length of the tunnel, interior trusses to increase structural rigidity, galvanized metal 18-gauge hat channel base and hip boards, all the lock channel, all the spring wire, all the ground posts, the ground post driver, every single piece of hardware you'll need, nut drivers, and 6mm 4-year warranted greenhouse plastic. And we even throw in that roll of repair tape just in case. So again, to get the biggest bang for your buck and to get a custom bid shipped right to your farm with all of the questions answered, go ahead and call that tech team. It's liable to save you a few $100s than just ordering right off the website. And it also gets you everything you need up front to enjoy the season without additionally having to order shade cloth later on. It's probably going to cost you less just to bundle it up and save than to order up piecemeal. Hope you enjoyed this one. Hope it answered some of the questions. We know you have a lot of choices for greenhouses, and we appreciate your trust in us to bring you the best USA made kits available. And we'll see you next week as we start planting out some of the stuff that we have in here out into the field.